Celeste is a mouse who is looking for a home. Is it inside a warm boot? In the shirt pocket of her new friend? Or is home a place deep inside her heart? Celeste will encounter many obstacles during her search. But she also discovers joy, triumph, and true friendship. A Nest for Celeste by Henry Cole. The story of a mouse, her friendship with Audubon's apprentice, and her search for a home.
Night of the Twisters by Ivy Ruckman. Dan and Arthur are in Dan's house when all of a sudden the power goes out and all they can see is blackness. Dan, Arthur, and their friend Stacy run around Grand Island, Nebraska, helping people. But will they survive?
Welcome to Maine, home of beautiful views, lobster fishing, and award-winning author Cynthia Lord.
My book, Rules, is about a 12-year-old girl named Catherine who has a brother with autism. And one thing Catherine does for her brother, David, is she creates a book of rules for him to teach him how the world works and how people behave.
I just want a normal life, which is near impossible when you have a brother with autism. Everything revolves around him. I've spent years trying to teach David the rules like, if the bathroom door is closed, knock. Especially when I have a friend over. Say thank you when someone gives you a present, even if you don't like it. A boy can take his shirt off to swim, but not his shorts. And no toys in the fish tank.
Catherine starts to discover that her rules are really as much for her as they are for David. Catherine's rules are also challenged by a new friend named Jason. Jason is in a wheelchair and he uses a communication book to speak.
I don't know what's wrong with Jason, and it doesn't seem polite to ask. Whatever it is, though, it's something big. There's a tray on Jason's wheelchair, and on the tray is a communication book.
The communication book is full of little cards with words and pictures on them. And as an artist, Catherine begins by making him some new words for his book.
But when Catherine notices how upset Jason gets when he doesn't have the best cards to communicate his feelings, she makes him some special ones.
But in the end, it's Jason who teaches her the most important rules about friendship.
Some people think they know who you are, when they really don't.
Pick up a copy of the award-winning novel, Rules.
named Cronin, Doreen. You can call me Cronin. I just wrote a book. It's called The Trouble with Chickens. It's a J.J. Tully mystery. J.J. Tully is a retired search and rescue dog. He spent 7 years in a life full of adventure, adrenaline, mystery, and now he finds himself in a country yard full of chickens, bored out of his mind and not particularly happy about where he is. When he finally starts to interact with the other creatures he's surrounded by, he meets a kind of an odd family of chickens. And the first thing they need from him is some help. And then you've got this weird, sinister thing happening in the house with Vince, and nobody really knows that much about him. The character of Vince the Funnel really started as a sketch on a Post-it, but it had kind of a sinister look to it. And someone said to me, this would make a really good Peter Lorre type villain. So it kind of lent itself to a film noir kind of feel. The film noir influence on the book, it's a few things. Your main character is not necessarily that lovable. When you first meet them, they're not this kind of warm and fuzzy character that you just want to embrace straight away. And JJ isn't either. JJ is kind of a classic film noir, hard-boiled kind of guy that's seen a lot in the world. He's Humphrey Bogart if Humphrey Bogart was a dog. There's a lot of banter in film noir when you read those books. The vocabulary is kind of distinct, the rhythm is kind of distinct, and they're not having open, honest conversations with each other. And they're giving just enough information to each other to get what they need. What's next for JJ is still unknown, but new characters are so much fun to create now. And because it's a mystery, how much you know about them and how much of that is actually true, the reader has to decide. The reader, when we get new information about new characters, has to stop and think, does that really fit? Or does that really make sense? Or is he or she really what she's pretending to be?